comments for when the high school comes up, because I want to talk about the team as a group. We train together, so I want to celebrate the season as one group. So we'll start off with the individual awards. Okay, the first individual award I'm going to give out tonight is the Most Improved. And the way that we come up with this award is we look at the improvement of the Tama Hills course. The course is 2 miles, 3,300 meters long. It has a very unforgettable hill near the end. And we race on that course throughout the season, so it's very easy to see the downward progression of times. So the student that gets the most improved for this season pushed through 17 minutes all the way down to 16 minutes flat, and is poised to make the next step down towards the 15-minute mark. So the most improved for middle school this year goes to Lauren Woody. Okay, we're moving on to most dedicated. So, not bad form. For the first time since I've been coaching at Saint-Saëns, I actually had for the first time tell this runner, no, you need to stop running. Okay, you've done enough. Okay, put the brakes on. Otherwise, this runner would keep running, and keep doing laps of the canal. This runner also extended her season to help the high school varsity team prepare for Far East. So the dedication is unparalleled. It's definitely reached new heights. And so the Saint-Saëns Middle School Cross Country Most Dedicated for this year goes to Siona Lee. Okay, this leads us to most valuable. This runner, consistently throughout the season, was in the top 5. They placed within the top 5 in all of the races up until the final race. Consistently coming out, running the team, leading by example. This is a very easy decision, and the most valuable goes to Amana Fuji. In middle school, cross country, I want you to just make room for the high school, so if you want to go down below, but don't leave the vicinity of the stage. We train as a group, so I want you around for that. So just move to the side a little bit, don't leave. Okay, so high school. JV Tennis, can you get on deck? Okay, earlier on, somebody was asking me, so you're probably excited to talk about what went on with varsity this year, winning Far East and doing the double, winning API and Far East. But actually, I didn't want to talk about that. I wanted to talk about practice. To me, this sport is about practice. It's not about the championships. It's not about the snapshots that those people that are not participating in this sport try to make sense of it. The championships are great, but it's really about the training. It's about how difficult the training is, how much dedication you need to dedicate to the sport to be successful. I think that I've been thinking about the workout that we did on Monday. I think that workout, I've been thinking about that more than the championships this past week. That 16 times 200 meters on the track absolutely destroyed me, and I think I'll be thinking about that workout that I did with you for some time. So it's been an incredible season, and it's also with a little bit of sadness that we see our seniors go. This is definitely the most seniors that we're going to lose out of the team and, since I started coaching. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so I want to get into the most improved. And this came as a huge surprise because this runner has fought injuries the last couple of years and has kind of been frustrated in her running a little bit. But we wouldn't have won API down in Guam without her performance. It was the first time that she was an all-star in all the years that she was running, so she waited till her second last race to be designated as an all-star, dropping her placing from 29th to 9th in 1 year. An amazing performance. I'm rarely surprised, and that absolutely surprised me. So the most improved this year goes to Mana Ola. This brings us to most dedicated. And this goes to the runner that, as far as I'm concerned, is unparalleled since I've been coaching here. This person has been involved in winning 3 consecutive middle school championships, 3 API championships, and has been in the engine room working hard to finally push us over the top for the Far East Championship. She's been an all-star all 6 years she's run for the team, in the league, in the Kanto, and she continues to make downward progression in her times in track too as well. So it's with great pleasure that I give out the most dedicated this year to Maku. Okay, this brings us to most valuable. And then this isn't going to be a surprise. This runner has been undefeated, has a perfect record on the cross-country field. Since she's come to Seisen, she continues to put huge records up wherever she runs, whether she's running in cross-country or on the track. She's been a huge inspiration, even for me, to get out and get fitter. So this year's most valuable runner goes to Brittany Chappelle. In addition to being Seisen's most valuable, Stars and Stripes this year nominated her as Cross Country Runner of the Year for the Pacific region. So, congratulations. thank you very much for such a great season.
Thank you, middle school and high school cross country. Next is JV tennis and varsity tennis. Please get ready.
But I'm very, very proud of the entire season. I wanted to kind of start off with a quote from a famous, well, unfortunately he's deceased. You've probably heard of Arthur Ashe. He actually contracted AIDS and died, but through his struggle, I mean, he had many Grand Slams, one of the top Black Americans in tennis. And here's a saying from him, I can't take this credit. You're never really playing an opponent, you're playing yourself, your own high standards. And when you reach those limits, that is real joy. And I think the JV team had actually proved that in our struggle and what we ended up with in the end season. I'll first present the awards and then kind of tell you about what happened in the season. I'll start off with for most dedicated. Unfortunately, she's not here, but I would like to at least say her name. Rikako Ataki. Rikako was always on time, very consistent, tried everything. I had her, rush the net, whatever I asked, she tried. She was on our B team, but I see high potential for her to really go higher next year. So hopefully she'll be on the A team at JV, and who knows after that. So good job for Rikako. The next award is for most improved. And this I'm going to grant to my tennis player who was on the B team, and she had to step up on our final tournament to play in our doubles team, and she won. Okay? So they won first place, so it's just amazing what she accomplished. This goes to Ashi Dubedi. And unfortunately, she's not here tonight as well. So congrats her if you see her in the halls. Okay, lastly, for most valuable, this was hard to choose, but this young tennis player was pretty consistent, won most of her matches, of all of them. She was my #2 singles player, and I tried to get her to serve and volley, and she was actually getting it. So I was very proud to present this award to Yuki Shiozawa. Overall, the JV team, we got second in league, unfortunately, but we ended up being first in the Kanto League Championships. So congratulations to all of you. If the varsity team could get ready.
varsity team volleyball, would you please get ready?
Well, while these ladies are getting up here, I am going to tell you a little bit of what sport means to me. I've always thought when you have athletes sitting on the field of competition, it's not just about the winning and the losing, but they think it's really important. They take something off of that and it affects their life and how they live. And this entire varsity tennis team does that. They pull each other together. It's the collaboration. It's gathering around the birthday cake. It's these shared tears when they lose, and shared tears when they win. And that's what really made this tennis team special this year. It makes me think of something Andrea Agassi said one time. He said, it's no accident to think tennis uses the language of life, advantage, service, fault, break, love. The basic elements of tennis are those of everyday existence, because every match is life in a miniature. Even the structure of tennis, the way the pieces fit inside one another like a Russian nesting dolls, it mimics the structure of our days. Points become games, games become sets, sets become tournaments. And it's also tightly connected that the point can become the turning point. It reminds me of the way seconds become minutes, become hours, and any hour can be our finest or darkest. It's our choice. We had an incredible season this year, the best that I've had since I've been here 4 years of SASN. These girls hold together, and it's one of these times where a team is better because of the team and not necessarily the parts. I'd like to start off with the most improved this year. Anna Clara was third at Convo. Kids were afraid to step on the court with her. She went to Far East, and I think you were fourth overall, right? Yeah. As a freshman. She really brought up, I guess, what I would call the bottom end of our Far East team. That's pretty darn good. And so with that, I'd like to award her the Far East most, or the SASN varsity most. This next one was very easy for me. I was at a little gathering here for, I think, rolling out the new weight room, and I'll never forget Mary Chu coming up to me and having a chat with me. We might have an alumni daughter moving in, and proceeded to tell me she likes to play tennis, and that she was quite good. Well, this little freshman turned out to be more than a bargain for. She ended up second at Far East. She won the Kanto League tournament. She was an all-star and part of the entire winning of the Far East tournament. She was also nominated by Stars and Stripes as one of the top 4 tennis players in the Far East. With that, I'd like to bring up Matilde Pires. Last but not least, this has been my captain for 2 years. She's our lone senior that's heading off. She leaves a huge hole in our team in terms of leadership. Quite literally, we would not be the team we were without her. Kami Shizawa was the Kanto, half of the Kanto team's doubles champion. She picked up an all-star for that. She was 2-time Far East tennis team and instrumental in us coming down to having enough points that on the last day came down to the last match. It's because of her leadership that we had a chance of winning that Far East match. With that, it's very easy for me to say, but she's by far and away the most dependable player we've had on this team. And I'm going to miss her. All right, so shorten up this evening. Let me get to the last bit. Billie Jean King talked about how tennis favors so many lessons in life. That every ball that comes to you, you have to make a decision. You have to accept responsibility, the consequences of every time you hit that ball. And I thank you guys for hitting the ball so well on my final season.
Thank you, varsity tennis. Up next is C team volleyball. B team volleyball, please get ready.
Good evening, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rory Hawkins, and I'm new to SACED this year. So, for that reason, I'm not sure if Ms. Jury trusted my coaching abilities, but I was given the responsibility of the C team volleyball for this year. Now, the C team, even though they are the third team in middle school, did a fantastic job all year, and I'll get to the results later on. But what I would like to say is with the C team volleyball this year, they were very dedicated and they were here on Tuesday mornings at 6:30 in the morning and on Friday mornings at 6:30 in the morning, and when I arrived, they were already here. So they were so keen, and it was great to see so many of the grade sixes who were new to volleyball fostering, developing a love. So for that, I would like to say well done to all of the grade sixes who are new to volleyball. Good job. We had a couple of grade sevens and a grade 8 in our team as well, and they displayed supreme leadership and encouragement of their peers, so I was very impressed with them. And so what I'd like to say now is that although results didn't go our way during the season for the most part, I remember distinctly losing some games, or we shouldn't say losing, we were beaten in some games 26-24 in the third set and 22-20 in the third set. So as a coach, it was heartbreaking, and I could see that it meant a lot to the girls when they got defeated so closely. But I think we can also remember a lot of the time, because other schools don't have as big a middle school volleyball program as we do, we were playing against a mixture of B team and C team players. So the opposition we were up against were perhaps more experienced and were stronger. But we really did put up a good fight, and despite being new to volleyball, I was so happy to see them giving everything they had. So well done, girls, again. I'll go into the individual awards now, and it was, honestly, very difficult for me to choose one person to give each of these awards to. There were no absolute standouts, so for those of you who didn't get an individual award, please don't feel hard-pressed. You all did so well, okay? So, the most improved. This person had not played much volleyball at all before the season started. But, as I said before, she was here with the rest of the team at 6:30 for a 6:45 start on a Tuesday and a Friday morning. And she was so keen to forearm pass, to set, and to even have a go at spiking. All season she was in there doing her best. So, the most improved goes to Marion Sakata. The next individual award is the most dedicated. Now, I wasn't going to give out a coach's award or any special award for who I felt was the most helpful or the person who was giving us the best opportunity as a team to display leadership or to work hard and this person was always here with a smile and was really keen to set up the nets as soon as we got to training and always offered to help with whatever it might be. But she was also very dedicated to training hard and trying to improve her game as well. Even though she was an 8th grader, and it was probably her last chance to play volleyball for the middle school, obviously her last chance because she's grade 9 next year. But this person, I wanted to give the most dedicated award to because she was awesome all year. So well done to Lynn Matthews. Here tonight? I thought I'd seen her, my apologies. Okay, so the next person, the individual awards, is the most valuable. And obviously the most valuable player is the person who is perhaps the most successful as an individual. But we need to remember, volleyball is obviously a team sport. So without making this person stand out or putting them on a pedestal, I would like to say that this individual was always at the front and always the one who was diving to try and get that last ball up in the air and won us so many points and carried us through so many games. So this person did a great job all season, and that person is Karen Grimatsu. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, C-Team Volleyball. Next up is B-Team Volleyball, A-Team Volleyball. Please get ready.
I am so proud of
You're gonna get it.
B-Team Volleyball. They ended the season with a 10-1 record, losing only one game, which unfortunately was our very first game against Sacred Heart, and Kentucky Conference. It hasn't always been easy. There's been a lot of go over to left, or do 10 burpees. And the recipients that I chose, it was really difficult because at the end of the season, I asked the girls for their nominees, and 7 different people were nominated for the award. Now, for those who aren't familiar with volleyball, only 6 can start. So that speaks to the quality of these girls, their dedication, and their love for volleyball. So to start off, my choice for most improved player was hard because I could think of several girls who deserved it for different reasons. The person I chose couldn't even bump accurately at the beginning of the season, although she would probably argue that. By the end of the season, she was a powerhouse in the back row, throwing herself all over the court and making amazing digs. She was serving overhand, and she was one of our starting setters. The most improved player goes to Sophia Mitchell. All right. Next is most dedicated. This team was down to 2 individuals, both who, at any chance they got, they went to extra practice. They would help out with the C-Team practices, and they were always playing volleyball or talking about volleyball anytime I saw them. The person I chose, every time I went to a varsity game, I could see her in the stands, and she was always trying to improve. So the award for most dedicated goes to Rico Demvara. right, last but not least, my choice for most improved player was tough. There are two people in mind, and even when you compared stats, they were pretty close. However, one person ranked first in all but one category, sometimes far above her teammates. She averaged 3.6 points per game and had an almost perfect serving record for the season. Additionally, she was always picking up new skills before it was taught in practice and was a calming presence on the court. The most valuable player goes to Mohawk, and I'm going to say her last name wrong.
Thank you, B-Team Volleyball. Up next is A-Team Volleyball. JV Volleyball, please get ready.
So the girls who stand before you today are directly responsible for Sayson's new reputation as being the hardest school to beat in middle school athletics. Move over ASIJ, Sayson has been sweeping championships for the last 2 years with these athletes. This season, middle school 18 brought home the trophy for a second consecutive year after a very long, very hard fought tournament in which the players showed their athleticism, determination, and teamwork. The ladies before you are extremely athletic. They push one another to new heights. They persevere, even under extreme stress, and they truly embody the elements of teamwork. So the athleticism of this group is obvious to anybody who comes and supports middle school sports, and the athleticism is nurtured by an extreme dedication to their sport and team. The girls who stand before you, they practice 4 days, 3 mornings and 1 afternoon, and they would also come to torturous weight training and calisthenics at least twice a week after school, and they never complained about the abdominal workouts or anything, so that deserves a big clap. Good job, girls. They also showed leadership in helping both B and C teams to improve their skills. The athletes before you also had unwavering confidence in their team, and they showed this by coming back from numerous deficits to win sets, matches, and championships. And they knew how to motivate each other. Sayson's very proud of the middle school 18s for all of their leadership. Okay, on to the awards. So to determine the most improved player is really hard at this level because the difference between B team and A team is quite stark. They had to learn new rotations, they had to play a much more competitive game, start thinking tactically and technically. And it was largely thanks to the help provided by our 2 veteran A-team members, Jennifer Niwa and Lily Vanderkamp, that the team progressed so quickly this year, winning the championship. Well done to our veteran players. This year, most improved player always was seeking feedback from her teammates, always seeking feedback from myself and Ms. Hendricks, and she improved by always wanting to be on the court. At the beginning of her journey, she would only have confidence in her forearm pass. She'd use it all the time in every circumstance. And then she progressed to winning championship matches with forceful overhead services and skillfully placed attacks. One in particular that won us the championship. So well done to this year's most improved player, Dara Hitsu. The award for most dedicated player is, to me, an extremely special award to receive. Although this player isn't always in the limelight, they're the real backbone of the team. And this year's most dedicated player worked tirelessly to support practices to promote teamwork and to develop the leadership potential of her teammates. She was a huge component of why our team was so successful.
This year's most dedicated player was really the strength behind the 18, and we could not have achieved half as much without her expert leadership. So well done to this year's most dedicated player, Jennifer Niwa. I decided to give a coach's award again this year, and I'm going to start with a little story from last year. Last year we were at the championship game, and I had brought up some 18 players, and there was one girl in particular that I could see was really wanting to play. So I threw her into a championship game, last set against ASIJ, and I forgot to tell her which position she was playing in the rotation. So she went on the court full of confidence, and I could see there was this moment in her mind where she was like, she forgot to tell me something, I don't know what I'm doing, and then she just adapted. She figured out where she was supposed to be, and I thought, wow, this girl's going to be a force to contend with, because she thinks like a volleyball player, and she knows where she is tactically on the court. So this year, she wanted the extra challenge of becoming a libero, which is very uncommon in middle school. You almost never see this in a middle school team because it's a very specialized role, and she perfected it. I can't say enough about this athlete. I think if she continues with volleyball, she can go really, really far. So congratulations to this year's Coaches Award, Momaka. And lastly, so this year's most valuable player was expert at changing the momentum of the game. We were behind. She would think through the situation, and she would always place the ball exactly where we needed it to go to shift that momentum back to our side. Her killer serves and attacks were very feared by all of the other teams, and she used them very consistently. In addition, she always understood the emotional reaction of her teammates, and she worked and adapted to best support each of them on the court. And her love for volleyball is obvious, and she is a big inspiration to the team. Well done. This year's most valuable player goes to Lynn Misuga. So I'm very proud of these ladies, and I know that they're going to keep that spirit on towards their JV teams next year and making the leadership going to the 18 next year. So well done, girls. Really proud of you. Volleyball. Next up is Varsity Volleyball, Varsity Volleyball, please get ready.
Varsity Volleyball, you can please come up here on deck, please. Okay, this team had an incredible season, and those of you who might have attended a game know that their motto was get low, yo, and I'll give you some fro, yo, used as inspiration and a motivational chant. If you're unfamiliar with froyo, it is a frozen yogurt. The girls decided to place this place for a team outing and devoured the frozen yogurt while reflecting on the games when they were getting low yo. This team was composed of 2 juniors, 4 sophomores, 6 freshmen, and the team was led by Moe Okazaki and Maya Yamagata as the captains. During league play, they finished 2nd place with a record of 16 wins and 4 losses. And at the JV tournament, they took 2nd place overall. These ladies should be proud of the way they came together, played with heart, revealed their unique character as individuals, and grew as volleyball players over the course of the season. Before we give our team awards, I'd like to thank our amazing manager for her hard work and dedication. Sahan Paliwahadana. I would also like to recognize Ms. Ronnie for her commitment and dedication to being on the sidelines and taking care of all the injured girls. Your compassionate heart and servant heart will be greatly missed not only by this team, but all of Stayson Athletics. Thank you, Ms. Ronnie. For our team awards, we will start with the most improved player. This athlete started off at the beginning of the year with minimal volleyball experience. She worked very hard each practice to earn a starting spot as a middle/outside hitter. She improved each game as a hitter, as well as showing her quick thinking and learning all about the new rotations for 2 different positions, the middle and outside. This award goes to Kathleen Martin. Next is our most dedicated player. This athlete showed leadership as a libero and always pushed herself and teammates in practice every day. She showed willingness to step in and help the varsity team out by staying late, and she earned herself a place on the varsity Far East roster at the end of the season. This co-captain always put her team first and helped foster an environment for the younger players to adapt well in a new team. This award goes to Moe Okazaki. And lastly, our team's most valuable player. This athlete showed great passion on and off the court and led this year's team in the amount of digs. She was constantly encouraging others while playing in the full rotation and always worked hard to improve her individual game. She led the team as a co-captain and was someone we as coaches could count on to provide amazing energy, laughs, team spirit, and create an environment of team cohesion. This award goes to Maya Yamagata. Congratulations to the whole JV volleyball team. Varsity volleyball, come on up.
Oh my goodness.
Not that tall. This year's varsity volleyball team has much to be proud of. With only 4 returning varsity players, each and every single one of these girls rose to the challenge and showed domination on the court. The team grew so much over the season as it had to step into different roles at different times due to injuries, illness, and other circumstances. The team finished second in the league for the second year in a row with a record of 10-2. The team placed 4th at Far East Volleyball Tournament, and both Alex Gordon and Noi Yamagata received honors by making the all-tournament team. A job well done to the entire Stayson Phoenix varsity volleyball team. Like Miss Brittany said, I would also like to thank Sahan for being such a loyal and dedicated manager, and Miss Ronnie for always being there and available to get the girls back in tip-top shape after injury. One other award that needs to be given out is an award that we as coaches have nothing to do with. It is decided by the Stars and Stripes Pacific Sports Writer. This year, Alex Gordon was one of 9 players selected to be on the Stars and Stripes Pacific All-Star team. Well done, Alex. Before we do our team awards, we want to acknowledge our league all-stars. Depending on how each team finishes in the league, all-star awards are allocated.
Because we finished second this year, we have 3 All-Stars to recognize. This season, they go to Alex Gordon, first in kills, Noi Yamagata, leading in digs, and Miyu Niwa with second most kills. Congratulations. For our team awards, we'll start with the most improved player. This athlete stepped into a starting role on the varsity team after playing 2 seasons of JV. Her hard work and dedication brought a lot to the team this year, and she became not only a hitter to count on, but also a much improved blocker on defense, which really helped the team out. Although she found playing on varsity challenging at first, she showed determination on a daily basis and stepped up her game consistently all season. This award goes to Erin Barrett. Next is our most dedicated player. This player is truly passionate about the sport of volleyball and always wanted to stay after practice to work on her hitting and just to get as many touches on the volleyball as she could. She was a vocal leader as captain, along with leading by example. She never let a ball drop and played like one of my favorite quotes, ball on the floor, body on the floor. She seriously had bruises all over her body from chasing after that ball. This year's most dedicated player goes to Noi Yamagata. Normally, I don't often give coaches awards, but this season, it's a special award that goes when a player exceeds expectations and is humble in the process. This athlete stepped into a very tough role as a setter this season, and she did it with ease. She hustled to get to every ball her teammates dug up and passed, and more often than not, was able to put the ball exactly where it needed to be. During a particular drill in practice, the hit tip drill, she always busted her tail, and because of her dedication and work ethic, she truly helped carry the team. The Coaches Award this year goes to Ayaka Hirata. Team's most valuable player. This player demonstrated strength and power in her hits, but also read the court extremely well and knew exactly where to place the ball. She had amazing volleyball intuition, recognized teachable moments to the younger players, and had a love for the game that was contagious. She led the team in kills and was the captain this year and has been a 3-year varsity player. This award goes to Alex Gordon. Varsity volleyball team.
Thank you, Varsity Volleyball. Now we are going to take a break and go for dessert. So again, we're going to have the seniors and the juniors start.
It is a club where children from middle school are all welcome to grade 6 to 8. And the gym is open in the mornings during the week, and they can come and work on and develop their badminton skills. But I think the main reason why we have the badminton club is so it gives the girls a chance to come to school early and engage in some physical exercise and activity and really enjoy having the opportunity to play some sport in a social setting. Because as you know, sports here at SACEN are very competitive, and that is fantastic, but sometimes we need a chance to relax and enjoy playing sport with our friends. And I feel that's what Badminton Club is all about. So you can see there are lots of girls behind me, and this is honestly about a third of the people involved in Badminton Club in the mornings during the week. We had about 75 to 80 students, obviously not all here at the same time, but on different mornings coming in, having a good time, playing their favourite music, showing their displeasure at my taste of music, and generally enjoying developing their badminton skills. I would say that the highlight of Badminton Club this season, or this school year, was the chance for the girls to go to St. Mary's and play in a tournament on a Saturday morning way back in November. They had the chance to play against some boys, which was interesting for them. And as their coach, I was very impressed when they beat a lot of the boys. So well done, girls. Yeah, so the badminton tournament was a lot of fun for the girls, and I would like to just commend them on their dedication to coming in early in the mornings in January and February, when, as you know, it was very cold in the morning. But coming in and having some exercise was the best way to warm up, and well done to all of the girls for being involved. I'll give out a few individual awards, and as I said last time, it is difficult to give individual awards for something like a badminton club, because it is mostly about fun. But we did have a few standouts, and so the person who was most improved and worked really hard to develop those skills of playing badminton was Sakura Shireman. Okay, the next individual award is for a person who was most dedicated. Now this person, whether coming in to play badminton or not, was always here at 6:30 in the morning when I arrived, keen and ready to go and put on her music, so that was good. Although she didn't always play, I thought that Lena was very dedicated to coming in and making the most of the badminton club, so well done to Lena. Okay, and the most valuable, as I said before, does go to a person who puts in great performances, and in the tournament at St. Mary's she played very well. But this person was always keen and often would like to challenge me to some games in the morning, so it was a good way for me to wake up too. And this person has some pretty good badminton skills. So Hannah Lee, well done. Okay, that's it for Badminton Club. Thank you.
Thank you, middle school badminton. Next up is middle school futsal, JV basketball. Please get ready.
Middle school is set up a little bit differently than She's okay. Okay, so middle school futsal is a little bit different. There is an A team and then mixed teams. So I'll sort of just focus on the A team, but as you can see, we have a lot of players. Other schools don't always have as much players, so unfortunately, some of the other non-A team players don't get a chance to play as much as I know we would have liked them to. But for the A team, we had a great season overall. In league play, they were undefeated, often dominating other teams. The season ended up in total, we had 19 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. So a very good record. The final A-team tournament, this was the first year that we had an A-team tournament. Last year it was snowed out, so this is the first one. We played 5 games that day and didn't give up any goals during the course of play. So that just speaks volumes to the defenders, the amazing goalkeeping of Sophia and Lilu, and all around just a whole season's worth of work into that day. Unfortunately, the final came down to penalty kicks, and I think everyone in the world agrees that penalty kicks is a terrible way to decide a soccer game. Unfortunately, that's how it went down this day. We came up on the short end. But we did finish the season playing an 11-a-side game, which we never played 11-a-side all season. A lot of these players maybe have never played 11-a-side in their life, and they would play against the base school who had been playing all year round and went out and beat them 2-1. So that was a great way to kind of end the season and for 8th graders get ready for the next year. On to the individual awards. We'll start with most improved. A lot of players improved. We had a lot of players that moved up and down from A team to mixed teams. But one person in particular, who I think at the beginning of the season wasn't maybe on the radar of a potential A team player. Throughout the course of the season, this player just got so comfortable having the ball at her feet, getting the ball, staying calm, looking around, picking her head up, seeing where the open player was, and just making the right pass every single time she got the ball. And that's really what soccer is all about, making the right pass. That player for the most improved is Mimiko Oshii. Again, most dedicated, as all coaches say, most dedicated is really hard award to give out. So many people are dedicated, everyone's dedicated. Middle school futsal takes place in the coldest, winterest months we have. It's dark, we're out there. I think one day, Marianne, I think, actually froze solid and she couldn't move. Just bring her inside for a half hour to thaw out. But everyone's dedicated no matter what the conditions, we're out there playing. But one player was dedicated to getting better in all parts of the game. Not just offense, but defense. Not just using your feet, but using your head and chest to play the game the way it's meant to play. That was the kind of culmination when she scored a beautiful header into the corner. That really showed all the work that she put into it. And that player is Victoria Ock. Most valuable player, I don't think will come as a surprise to anyone. Just want to tell you a very quick story about this. There's so many examples of her being a great player for the team. The reason we had so much success is not because she was the best player, which she was, but because she made everyone else around her better. And that's really what a captain and a most valuable player does. At one point, we were playing really close, kind of hard game against Sacred Heart. We beat them once and they didn't like that very much. We were beating them again 1-0. They scored a goal with about 5 minutes left and they were really excited. About 2 weeks before that, at the end of practice one day, we were just kind of fooling around and said, you know, on a kind of reset, if the other team scores and it's our kickoff, why don't you just try to take a shot if they're not set up properly? One player touches into you, and if you have a clear path to goal, just give it a shot because you could definitely just put it right into the corner, no problem. So we did that for like 2 minutes, totally forgot about it. That game, they scored to tie it up 1-1. Whatever happened, there was a path, someone touched to her, and she just drilled it into the top corner, and off the post, into the goal. The other coach just started complaining wildly and saying it shouldn't count for some reason. on the field yelling at the ref, and I said, well, okay, I'm not going to argue, it won't count, fine, whatever, it won't count. So we re-kicked off. She just then dribbled around 2 players, so there was a good 5 seconds, so that nothing could be complained about, and then just drilled it in the same exact spot, top corner. Game was over. The other team, I think, didn't say a word the rest of the game. And that's just one short example of why she is the most valuable player, and that is Marissa Morrison. Congratulations, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, middle school football. Next we have JV basketball, varsity basketball, please get ready.
This year's JV basketball team had a phenomenal season and finished with a record of 16 wins and 1 loss. They were undefeated in the league, being outright league champs. This speaks volume about the team, and they showed great confidence throughout the season. Not only were they a dominating team, they showed strength in their ability to pressure on defense, but they learned how to have patience on the offensive end. They finished second at the JV tournament. However, this was not the lasting memory when thinking of this basketball season, as they controlled the league and all season long were the team to beat. Every single team member grew tremendously as a player and a young woman. The sport of basketball brought these girls together, taught them to play with heart, and most importantly, made them realize how much fun they were having while playing basketball together. Aww. The team should be very proud of their accomplishments this season. Before we give our team awards, we also want to thank our amazing managers for their hard work and dedication in taking stats and coming to a lot of our games. Maisha Gregory and Ewing Yu. Now for our team awards. We will start with the most improved player. This athlete proved herself to be the 6th man, and she was one of the first subs that came off the bench. Her tenacity and fight can be demonstrated on the court when she was either fighting for a loose ball in the backcourt, or even when she drove in the lane, but was able to finish with many defenders around her. This award goes to Angela Cho. Our most dedicated player award. This player worked throughout the season to improve her ball handling skills, left-handed layups, and leadership on the court as the captain of this team. She led the team in assists, in steals and assists, and her quickness stunned opposing teams every game. Her ability to find open teammates improved, and she grew as a point guard over the course of this season. This award goes to Julia Remington. And lastly, our most valuable player award. This player could be found sprinting her tail off during the games, and she embraced the versatile role of playing both the guard and a post player. She was able to adapt quickly and led the team in scoring and in rebounds throughout the season. Her energy, jokes, and beatboxing added a dynamic to the team while building trust with her teammates on the court. She became a player that opposing teams feared. This year's Most Valuable Player award goes to Amanda Wood.
Okay. The varsity basketball team had a great season with 8 returning players. The team brought a lot of experience to the court. We finished 3rd place in the league, and the way all of the girls grew as a team over the course of this season is something to be commended for, especially considering the fact that they finished their season out on a run of 10 wins and only 1 loss. Tournament-wise, the varsity team took part in the Chiang Mai International School Basketball Invitational in Thailand and played some great basketball. They finished 3rd place there, and at the tournament, Alex Gordon was named to the all-tournament team. I also would like to thank the managers Maisha and Ewing, along with Ms. Ronnie, for her continuous support throughout the season and tending injuries so that I could focus on the game. Before we do our team awards, I want to acknowledge the 2 league all-stars. These 2 athletes led as the top scorers and rebounders for the varsity team. They go to Alex Gordon and Nikita Endo. For team awards, we'll start with the most improved player. This player played on varsity last season, however, brought her game to a new level this year. As the season progressed, she continued to develop as a player and was always one to be counted on to hit big shots when needed most, especially in Thailand. Her determination and work ethic stood out each and every practice, and I look forward to seeing her develop even more next season. This award goes to Alex Street. Next is the Most Dedicated Player Award. This athlete has been committed to the basketball program since she started playing basketball at Sayson in 6th grade. She came to all of the open gyms and kept wanting to improve her game in the off-season. She's been a starter on varsity for the past 3 years and led the team as a captain this year. Her drive and love of the game is evident, and she developed the Rose Sen Phi by always helping the younger players. This award goes to Erica Osama. Lastly, the most valuable player. This athlete has also been on varsity for 3 years and has been a starter and post player for the last 2 years. Not only does she display outstanding skills, but her vocal leadership and encouragement impacted the team immensely. She stepped into big shoes as opposed to Siri losing our top scorer and rebounder last year, and this season, she was the top scorer and rebounder. She always plays with heart and passion, and is an approachable upperclassman of the girls in the high school basketball program, and capitalizes on teachable moments, always with a smile. This year's most valuable player goes to Alex Gordon. Congratulations, ladies, on a great varsity basketball season. Season basketball, come on up, season basketball, and B78. Go together, over there, please.
We'll start with the B7H first. Again, as you can see, we have lots of players. We had 2 B teams, first with the B7A team, and they, again, didn't get to play many games because not many schools have 4 teams. When they did play games, it was often playing against a mix of whoever was available for the other team, B team players, maybe A team players, C team players, whoever it was. So their record and it doesn't necessarily reflect how much they evolve over the course of the season. For the B7A, we'll have just one award, the most valuable player, and that goes to Alyssa Collins. B-Team finished the season with 10 wins and 0 losses. In the very first game and the very first practice, they came out hard, ready to work to win games. That was evident throughout the whole season, every day at practice, every weekend at games. I'll just get right into the awards for the most improved. The player that got the most improved award is a player who really worked over the course from last year to this year, from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, worked on getting better at fundamentals, basic shooting form, which is something that isn't very glorious when you're just starting to get good shooting form, because the ball doesn't go in very often. So once you get good shooting form, then the ball starts to go in all the time. So she worked hard to develop her shooting form, basic dribbling moves that are going to be valuable the rest of her basketball career, defensive positioning, all those fundamentals that are so important she works every day to improve on. And that player is Yumi Kuhn. Award is most dedicated, and again we have lots of dedicated people, as you can see. I gave the award to this person who, in breaks between drills and so on, we have a few minutes of getting water and relaxing, and this person was just always out there in between breaks, working on things that will be beneficial in a game. Although shooting from half court is lots of fun, and we've seen at A-Team that it is actually very valuable to be able to make that. In practice, working on fundamentals is also important. So a person who just always was working to get better no matter what was happening in practice is the person who gets the most dedicated award, and that is Christy. This year I decided to also give a coach's award. And the reason I decided to do that is that one player was basically like a coach on the court. There weren't many times throughout the season where the game was close or a particular possession had a lot of value because we were often in the lead quite a lot. But at end of quarters, certain inbound plays where we don't want to give up easy baskets, I could always talk to the team in a huddle, sort of give out our general strategy, and then pull this player aside and say, okay, when you get on the court, make sure it happens. And this player was the coach on the court. And that player is Lauren Woody. And the most valuable player? The most valuable player on the B team is someone who never stopped running, never stopped hustling, was aggressive and attacked the basket every possession. Every time the ball was near her, she wanted it and mostly got it. That's how we developed our system, is to be aggressive and really, really push the basketball. And that's what she epitomized for the B team. Always attacking, going right at the opponent and kind of never slowing down. That player, most valuable player, is Momone. Once again, B team, middle school basketball, great job.
please get
去
ready.
年に引き続き無敗。いつまで続くんですか？いや、次。元祖のコーチこちらです。元祖コーチ。
Okay, I'm not the team basketball coach, but unfortunately, I have to be here to give out these awards. The coach can't be here tonight, and he just sent me a message saying he would love to call in and speak, but he did send me what he would like to say, and I'll just read out what he wanted to say. And I know he wanted to be here tonight. First, congratulations, A-Team champions. Everybody who was at the final tournament knows that that was probably one of the most exciting basketball games I've ever seen. But getting right into what Mr. Lewis said, the first award he would like to talk about is the Most Improved. This year's Most Improved award goes to a player who was new to basketball last year, and her improvement has been demonstrated not only this season, but over the last 2 years. When she first started playing, and at the beginning of this season, she was scared to have the ball in her hands. As soon as she would catch a pass or get a rebound, she would immediately throw the ball to the nearest person, even if that person was on the other team. As the season went on, her confidence grew on the court. In key games, she was able to block, score, and get rebounds on both ends of the court. She finished the season tied for third in rebounding and as one of the most efficient players on the team. The best thing about her growth as a player is that she is still improving, and we are looking forward to seeing what she can do at the high school level. This year's Most Improved award goes to Lilu Vandergam. Next is Most Dedicated. On a team as committed and successful as this one, Most Dedicated is always the most difficult award to get. I feel like I say this every year, but this team is full of players who put in the work year-round. This year's Most Dedicated award goes to someone who went to multiple camps the last 2 summers, including some in America. For 2 years, she has also shown up at 6:45 in the morning, 3 days a week, to help with the C-team practices. On the court, she was a dominating presence. She was second on the team in scoring with 7 points a game, second in assists, and tied for third in rebounds. Even more important was her defense, as she led the team in steals and always guarded the other team's best player, often locking her down and turning star players into non-factors in important games. In addition to all of these things, she served as the A-Team co-captain. Her combination of athleticism, dedication, and love of basketball have been a huge part of the A-Team's success over the past 2 seasons. The Most Dedicated award goes to Karen Mishra. Most valuable. This year's Most Valuable Player is someone who dominated every aspect of the game. She led the team in scoring, putting up more than 150 total points, averaging around 12 points a game, and setting a record for points in a game with 25 against ASIJ. Over the season, she made 46% of her shots, which for those who don't know much basketball, that is a very, very high percentage to shoot. She was second on the team in rebounding, third in assists, and third in steals. And, as all MVPs should, she stepped up in big games, including the key 3-pointer in the final minutes against Yokota, a half-court buzzer beater against ASIJ, and the final basket with an assist from Victoria in the championship game. As a highly skilled basketball player, we wanted to see her be not just the best player on the team, but the best player on the court, regardless of who the competition was. Time and time again, she raised her game to the occasion. This year's A-Team MVP goes to Jordan. Mr. Lewis about all of basketball. This year's A team finished as champions of the league and the tournament with an undefeated record of 14 wins and 0 losses. It is the A team's 4th straight league championship and the 3rd undefeated season in the last 4 years. For a team that has accomplished so many amazing things, it's almost impossible to single out only 3 players, as everyone on this stage has contributed so much to the team's success. Please give them one more round of applause. Finally, we have an excellent basketball. We want to thank Ms. Jury and the administration for your support, and thank you to all of the students, teachers, parents who came out to support all of them.
Thank you, A-Team basketball. Next up, we have middle school track and field, high school track and field. Please get ready.
So I'm very thankful to be up here again. Thankful to be up here so I can thank the people that I didn't thank when I was up here earlier. It's been a bit of a frazzle of the week. History paper 2. Erica came in and told you the main origins of the Cold War question. What is that? Sister Margaret, thank you again for all your support. You've been the first head that's been out to the cross country, so I just wanted to thank you for that. And you've been coming consistently ever since I've been in school, so thank you again. I appreciate the admin team support. I don't see James Hatch here, but he was out this year too, supporting the team as well. And Ronnie, where's Ronnie? Ronnie? She's behind the stage. Of course she is. Doing first aid. Ronnie, I just want to thank you very much for all the support you've given the cross-country team. I tend to get a little worked up when I'm out there, and you've been just amazing at supporting the girls with sprained ankles and any medical issues that they needed. So I don't know what we're going to do without you next year, so thank you very much. Okay, middle school track. This year, the middle school team made a very commendable effort. They came 4th at the middle school finals, clearly in front of Ish, so that's always nice when you can finish in front of them. So congratulations on a very commendable 4th place effort. Okay, so on to the individual awards. The first award I want to hand out is the most improved. This goes to a runner that I actually had to convince or cajole or intimidate into running the 400 meters. We found out that that was her distance, and she improved an incredible 7 seconds over the season. 7 seconds over 400 meters is an eternity. So amazing improvement over the season. And the most improved for middle school this year goes to Hanifa. Okay, I think there was an SAT essay that some students wrote a couple weeks ago on sometimes too much choice is a bad thing. And I couldn't agree more with track. Everybody wants to do the 100 meters. I don't understand that. We have such a good middle distance program, and then when given the choice, everybody wants to run the 100 meters. That being said, this runner, the most dedicated, was content and very successful at the middle distance events, at the 800 meters and the 1500 meters, and was a runner in one of the legs of the 4x4. Her times consistently progressed down throughout the season in both those distances, and she never missed a single practice, coming early in the morning because her schedule wouldn't allow her to train after school. So an incredible effort over the season. So the most dedicated award for this season for track and field, middle school track and field, goes to Amana Fujikawa. Which brings us to most valuable. And the most valuable goes to an athlete that this year, we already knew she was an incredible sprinting talent, but we also found out this year that she could throw very well as well. She achieved the most points for the team over the season, separating herself from the second place athlete by 25 points, I believe. And she set the fastest 100-meter time in Kanto this year, running under 14 seconds for the first time, at a very, very, very fast time. So I'd like to congratulate this year's most valuable athlete, and that goes to Aisling Obi. Okay, we have one more award to give out. This is the Coaches Award. Don't normally give these out, but I thought it was appropriate to do so. This goes to an athlete that did the triple this year. And if you don't know what the triple is, it's the 3200, the 1500, and the 800 all in one day. It's an incredible amount of running to do in one day. And this student was only one of two students that ran the 3200 this year, and she did it new to the team and as a sixth grader. So the Coaches Award going out to Rion Tanaka. Congratulations to all the athletes in such a great season.
Hi. Thanks for still being here. It's been a long night, I know, but we appreciate that you're still here and you're still cheering. My name is Jamie Cannon. I'm new to State Sen this year, and I had the privilege of being one of the coaches for track and field. Over this year, I've been impressed with how the students attack each hurdle put in front of them in the classroom, and I was equally impressed to find that they attack athletics with the same excitement and tenacity. We've had an outstanding season this year in track and field, as everyone seems to say. I think that speaks for our sports program here. Our season included students getting out of their comfort zones, trying new events. We had top finishers at every meet. We broke records all the way up to the Pacific level. And Our season culminated in a high school finals meet where 40 of 65 entries were a personal best. So that's excellent. We also finished third, which is kind of like finishing first after Yakota and the other grade schools, so we're pretty excited about that. It's been a delight to watch these students improve over the season and an honor to be a part of their journey. We're excited for this coming week where we have 10 students representing SACE at Far East. Now let's long jump right into the awards. Most improved goes to a student who is new to track and field this year. She came out to throw discus and shot put and found a place where she really excels. Over the season, she's become one of our top throwers and has earned this award through her effort, particularly in the discus, where she fully doubled her distance since the first practice. Congratulations on being most improved in track and field, Jovina Numoy. Who I quickly found to be one of the most motivational and encouraging human beings I've ever met. She consistently shows up ready to work hard, try new things, and inspire others. Her hard work has paid off this year in that she's earned a spot to compete at the Far East tournament. And she has done all of that even after crashing and ripping more skin off her knees and elbows than anyone I've seen. Congratulations on being most dedicated in track and field, Maya Yamagata. One of the reasons I personally love track and field is because of the individual nature of most of the events. Yet at the same time, we become a team and we become a family all working toward the same thing. This system makes it quite easy actually to choose an MVP because they are earning individual points. So it's a no-brainer, okay, who's got the most points? Well, even if we weren't looking at points, this athlete really is a no-brainer for MVP. She, over her career at SACE, and as you have already heard, and I'm sure most of you already know who I'm speaking of, she hasn't lost a single race. To add to that impressive statistic are 3 brand new Pacific records this season. One was a race that she had never run before, the 3200. She set a Pacific record on it. She continues to improve in her personal bests every meet. She's done all of that after starting the season up with an injury. She has a great spirit, drive from within, and congratulations on most valuable in track and field to Brittany Chappelle. Great job, track and field.
Thank you, track and field. Up next, we have JV soccer. Varsity soccer, please get ready.
Oh, of course, she's wonderful.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really happy to be here to tell you a little bit about TBC on the stage here. We had, beginning of the season this year, we played a number of exhibition games against some junior varsity/varsity level teams. And that can be kind of discouraging. These are the times when you're trying to bring the team together, see who fits, who plays well, well where, and how the team chemistry goes. But in spite of those losses, and they were all losses early on, The team didn't cave in, regardless of how discouraging it gets, as a coach or as a player. They just got together, talked about what we have to work on, how can we improve, how can I improve as an individual. And that's what led us to a milestone for soccer at SACEN, which I'll tell you about in a moment. Quick anecdote. We were playing against the SIJ on a Saturday morning or afternoon, and it was a league game. We scored, it was 1-0 for us. And we maintained it. Instead of giving up an early goal, we were trying to continue to improve. And we found ourselves leading the game, and we kept that lead for about a good 15 minutes. But then, the SIJ, being a doggedly determined team, scored a goal and tied it up. But these players, being even more determined, kept working hard, didn't cave in on each other, and we ended up scoring, and we won that game. And I texted this jury, and whoa! We just might have won the league, and we found out that day that we actually did win the league for the first time in SACEN's junior varsity history. And being in Kanto for about 15 years, I can count at least 10 years that ASIJ has won the junior varsity league straight. So we knocked off this long-running championship. And that comes down to strength of character, determination, looking out for each other, being spirited, and really caring about what we're doing as a team together, not as certain individuals. And of course, having a good time. Before I give the individual awards out, I do want to say on behalf of the team, and we sincerely mean this, Ms. Jury, for all the extra games you've given us and hard work, we appreciate that. Ms. Ronnie, who is always bandaging the team. We also want to thank Mr. Wagai, one of the maintenance staff. He drives the bus, but he doesn't just drive the bus. He talks to the players. He's behind the bench supporting, sometimes taking photographs. And we want to thank Coach T, because he's always there helping us out. When I'm tired and I'm bringing my level down, his passion and energy brings me back up. People like that are what we call in soccer the 12th player, and those four definitely are the 12 players. Thank you. Awards. Now the first one that we'll give out is Most Improved Player. As a typical JV team, a lot of players, they haven't had much experience or any experience playing soccer, and some players have had experience. For this player, it was her first year playing soccer, though definitely a good athlete. Sheer determination, concentration, hard work. Unquestionably, Justine Louvel is the Most Improved Player this year. Justine scored a goal in the league game. We won 1-0 over CHA to Justine's goal, which in JV level, that's not unheard of, it happens, but to score in a varsity level tournament in her first year playing soccer is just incredible, which she did in the soccer tournament, which the varsity team won. Great work, Justine. Next up is Most Determined Player, and like other coaches have said, it could be anybody on the stage here, but this individual just works hard at practice. She works hard during games. When the chips are down, she stays positive. She is relentless on the field and really wants to be the best player that she can be. She has been an excellent captain this year, an excellent captain. And she's going to be representing the varsity team at the Far East tournament next week. Claudia Nori, outstanding season. Congratulations. Definitely a key to our success. Next up, I'm going to give a coach's award. Forgive me a little bit of background. The high school I went to, we have an award called the Desire Award. So here at SACEN, that Desire Award in my mind is what I refer to as the coach's award. And basically it's based on my high school club coach's son who passed away tragically in a motorcycle accident. So it does have a deep personal meaning to me. Every team I've coached since then, I do give a Desire Award. And this is the coach's award here. This player is, well, speaking of relentless, never gives up, fights for every ball. Very mature, comes to me when she's frustrated and says, I'm kind of frustrated. I don't really know what to do at this point in time, maybe frustrated with the way things are going, but just doesn't give up. This person is an excellent athlete, has some experience playing soccer, but no experience playing 11-a-side. Was a huge factor in the success of our team this year. So congratulations, Amanda Wood. This person, again, as an athlete, as a student, as a person, just very mature, very hardworking, cares deeply about people. Definitely, a number of people I could say this is the glue that kept us all together, but this person in particular just kept everybody together. Worked so hard, and due to injury, had to come off the pitch during the ASI Jamboree, which I think we would have won had this player not become injured. An excellent season. I'm sure everybody agrees that Millie Almi is the MVP. I'm going to close with some words that Yumi Fernando actually said. This is, as a coach, this is what I want to hear. We had a team meal last week, and Yumi said, you know, I'm just really proud of how we keep getting better. Last year, 3 years ago, the team took some heavy losses. Last year we worked hard, came second in the league, and this year we won it. And Yumi had said, I'm just so proud of the way we keep improving every year. And that speaks volumes, because that's, you know, in the end, having fun and trying to be the best we can be is what it's all about. And congratulations to JV team, league champions.
Next up is varsity soccer. If swimming could please get ready on the side.
Gentlemen, I'm Mr. T, or Coach T, and I'm here to present awards for the varsity soccer team 2015. Before I begin, I want to tell you what I told them at the first practice when we started this season. And there's a couple of other coaches who previously stated, it's not about winning, it's not about losing, it's about the way you play. It's about practice, it's about discipline, it's about like how you carry it. And it's about how you become a better person, a better player, how you share and you become a team. And this was our goal this year. And they did it. And I'm very proud of them, and I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart for everything they did. They did it very well. So this would not be possible without the support of our first supporter, Sister Margaret. She always supported the program. Without our help from our athletic director, Ms. Jury, without our support from the administration team, and especially Mr. Hatch, came down to most of the games. Also, I want to thank Ms. Ronnie. She takes care about the girls every single game. Without her, it's really hard. It's a very physical sport. Got injured, got a lot of problems during the game. So Ms. Ronnie was like, thank you very much. Also, the parents. I want to thank all the parents for the late nights, for the support and help you gave to the team, and all the nights that you put up with the late returnings and probably late homeworks and everything that you had to face for the next day. Okay? So for this, and to all mention, and to all of you, the varsity soccer team want to thank you. So, say no! I'll go and talk about the awards. And I seem like like most of the coaches started with most improved, but I want to start with most dedicated. I'm sorry. So this player is really like breathing football. Like every time I meet her, we talk about football. Every time when she's in the field or outside the field, we're talking about football. And her dedication and her ways of like practicing, the amount of work she put in the games and in the practice. She took care about like our image during the season. Even like we met in breaks at St. Mary's doing practices, extra practices. So the most dedicated award for 2015 is going to Mrs. Alina Sai. Now, I'll go back to the most improved. The most improved was like very hard to choose. As I said, the goal of the team this year was to like play real football, to learn football, and like to learn how to share, to learn how to become a better person in the field and outside the field. This was the goal. And talking about results, we didn't come too up in the league, but we had an extraordinary finish of this season, and we won the Sakura Cup second time this year. So congratulations. And before the most improved, I want to acknowledge the All-Star for the Kanto League. The player who got it this year made an enormous impact over the 4 years as she played for the varsity. And there's no more comments to add to this. And the All-Star is going to Mrs. Alexandra Gordon. Come back to the improved one. As I was saying, the whole team improved, and we ended up with winning the Sakura Cup, which was like an extraordinary finish of the season. The regular season is not done yet. A joint team between like the varsity players and JV players will leave on Sunday morning to represent Seisen in the Far East Soccer Tournament in Okinawa. This player particularly made a huge impact after coming up from JV. And talking about the JV, I want to thank Coach G for all the work he put in this program for this year and the last year. And half of this team, they benefit from his work because 9 of the players are new players from the JV team. She made a huge impact in the team, and with her performances, the team gained a lot of confidence in the season, and we moved up, and we've been able to finish as a winner in the Sakura Cup. The most improved player for 2015 is Mrs. Shion Ishibashi. Before I will give the most valuable player, I want to award the coach award this year. It's my second year when I'm doing this. In the last 5 years coaching soccer at Seisen. And for me, it's very important to acknowledge this player who put everything practically in the last 4 years for this team. And she faced twice severe injuries kept her out half of the season, and also, unfortunately, this year, the end of the season was not so good for her. But even though I was pretty unsure about this, we talked a lot about if she will make it to the Sakura and she'll be able to play, because the doctors were very reluctant to this. Without any further comments, the Coaches Award for 2015 is going to Mrs. Ayaka Hirata. I wanted to keep it short, but okay, so the last one. The most valuable player. The whole team, I think, should deserve this award, and it was a very hard choice for me to came to the final decision. But in the end, I had to think about it. What is needed to be a most valuable player? And I thought about determination and fearlessness and will and leadership. I realized that she's having all these qualities. And what is even most extraordinary is that she's coming after a tough year, after a tough season. Last year she had a tough season and a tough year. This made my decision even more justified. So the most valuable player for 2015 varsity soccer team is going to Mrs. Alex Stritt. I had to say. There's 3 managers who need to be acknowledged. For this year, we had one that she worked for this team and for everything for the last 4 years. I'm sorry she's not here with us, is Megumi Watanabe. And then we have 2 managers this year, new managers who took the lead. It's Lindsay Wong and Fatini Zamri. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I'd like to first recognize each and every single one of you. I have a certificate for you, so once I call your name, please come forward. First, we have Ayaka Yoshihashi. Frederica Stepp. And us also for middle school, Aisa Takahara. For high school, we have 4 swimmers. First, Emily Step. Caitlin Rossman. Yuri Hayashi. And Coco Yamamura. Now, the awards I'm actually going to announce tonight, the girls are not aware, but these awards are going to be announced at this swim meet on Sunday. But Mr. Moody wanted these girls to be recognized in front of their peers. So I'm proud to say that the first is the Coaches Award. And this award goes to Coco Yamamura. Next, we have the middle school most valuable swimmer. And this one goes to Aisa. Lastly, we have the female swimmer of the year. And this goes to Caitlin Rossman. Congratulations, swimmers. Before we move on to the special awards, I have a few small thank yous. Firstly, I'd like the banquet committee composed of Aaron Barrett, Cleona Flutter, and Miyu Niwa to be recognized. They've met with me each week for the past month to help make tonight happen. Along with those girls are their moms in the back for going to Costco, OK Mart, and picking up the Domino's pizza. They've gone above and beyond, and I'd like everyone to thank them. Another big thank you goes out to all of the girls that helped out at the home game concessions this year. For GAA, we offer concessions before almost every single home game, and so many students had to step up and help out for these games. These hours were transferred into booster points. On behalf of GAA, I'd like to recognize the 3 students with the highest booster points accumulated over the year. Have a small token of appreciation. I would like Sophie Mitchell with 28 hours, Yaniv Shu with 30, and Lynn Matthews with 36 hours. Please come up. Okay, the time has come for our special end of year awards. Anyone sitting here tonight would agree with me that all 3 sports, all 3 seasons for the States in Phoenix have truly been amazing. Our teams continue to break records, make it to the finals, and have winning seasons. It's with great pride that these final awards will be presented this evening. All of the coaches were involved in the selection, and although only a few names will be called, they represent the pursuit of excellence, the desire to succeed, and dedication to sport in each and every athlete who takes part in SACEN athletics. It is through everyone's intensity, commitment, hard work, competitive spirit, and support that these athletes were able to do their best. If your name gets called, please come up to receive your medal, and stay on stage until all of the special awards have been given. I will start with Rookie of the Year. This award is presented to the SACEN athlete new to competition at either the middle school or high school level, and has made a tremendous impact on Phoenix sports this year. As a player, and as a teammate. She is a standout in her skills, sportsmanship, and dedication. The 2014-2015 Middle School Rookie of the Year goes to Miss Lena Secho. Now, the 2014-2015 High School Rookie of the Year. Not a surprise here, goes to Miss Brittany Chappelle. Most dedicated. This award is presented to the athlete for whom sports are a passion. She consistently demonstrates dedication and commitment to Phoenix sports, always showing up for practice and games during the regular season, and working to improve as an athlete during the off-season. The 2014-2015 Middle School Most Dedicated Athlete goes to Miss Victoria Ock. The 2014-2015 High School Most Dedicated Athlete came out as a tie and goes to both Miss Maku Itakura and Miss Marie Claude. Scholastic Athlete of the Year. This award is presented to the athlete who has maintained the highest academic standards while participating in sports throughout the school year. The Middle School Scholastic Athlete of the Year for 2014-2015 is Miss Kana Nishibashi. For High School Scholastic Athlete of the Year for 2014-15 is Miss Maku Itakura. Phoenix Pride. This award is presented to the athlete who demonstrates exceptional sportsmanship, always has that school spirit, and shows teamwork for all sports in which she participates and represents Sayson proudly in the Council Plain League. The 2014-2015 Middle School Phoenix Pride Award goes to Miss Anna McKellen. The 2014-2015 High School Phoenix Pride Award goes to Miss Miyu Niwa. Athlete of the Year. This award is presented to an exceptional year-round athlete. One who makes an impact not only on our team, but in the Kanto Plain League. Recognized by her teammates, schoolmates, and coaches for her skills, commitment, and sportsmanship. She sets the standard for excellence in Phoenix athletics. The Middle School Athlete of the Year 2014-2015 goes to Miss Marissa Morrison. And last but certainly not least, this High School Athlete of the Year for 2014-2015 is Miss Alex Gordon. Let's give them one more big round of Before we end our recognition evening, on behalf of SASN, I'd like to take this time to recognize our 16 senior athletes this year. All senior athletes, please come up to the stage and stand in alphabetical order. Senior athletes. Scout. It's not an easy task to be a senior athlete at Saint. We all know about the IB and how much schoolwork it is, and yet all 15 of these seniors have remained dedicated to sports throughout the season. They've had to learn time management, while they've been running on the canal, training on the tennis courts, practicing in the gym, and even on the futsal pitch outside. These young women have represented the Phoenix sports teams beyond extremely well, and are reminded tonight to take pride in your accomplishments. Stacey, we'll miss you dearly, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thank you. Okay, one photo of the senior. Thank you again. We also would like to take some time to thank a very important person that's volunteered hundreds of hours throughout the past 2 years, keeping athletes healthy. Alex and I have a few things to say about Ms. Ronnie.
Injuries are a natural part of athletics, and many of us this past year have some way or another, rolled an ankle, pulled a muscle, or had countless scrapes, bruises, and muscle pains. Ms. Johnny was present at most high school athletic events, whether it was a weeknight game, a weekend game, or a week-long tournament, to make sure all athletes were in top-notch shape. Athletes would go to her to ask for help, and she would always treat them with love, care, and a big, huge smile. We can all agree Miss Ronnie is a true Phoenix athlete. She works just as hard, has the same level of dedication, and puts her heart and soul into supporting State Sen athletics. It is not only her impeccable skills of tending to our injuries that we would like to thank her for. We want to thank her for her endless support and contribution to the State Sen family. She has left a great impact on State Sen in her 2 years here, and will definitely be missed. Miss Ronnie, if you could please come on stage, we have a small token of our appreciation.
Sister Margaret, you've been one of the most loyal supporters of State Sen athletics over the last 3 years, even going on the bus for away games, and more often than not, in the stands for all home games. Your support to these young women and the way you inspire them has been more valuable than you know. Let's give Sister Margaret a big round of applause. items. All GA girls, you know you have to stay after to help clean up, but if anyone else is also willing to help, it would be greatly appreciated. All of the tablecloths need to be taken off and the cans, plates, and bowls put in the proper trash. Thank you again to everyone for coming out to support the athletes this evening, and looking forward to another great year of sports next year. Here's to Sister Margaret.
I think you all know that I love sport. I played a lot of sport at school and at college, and I have really loved watching you. Just by the way, I'm the one who usually stands up there and yells, "Go Phoenix!" I'm the one who stands at the bottom of Killer. And then I'm the one who has been running up and down the sidelines, told by the referee to go and sit on the bench. But I have enjoyed so much watching you the past 3 years. What can I add to what I've heard? All your achievements, the way you fought, the way you have won. And that's what sport is about. It's about winning and losing, but above all, it's about being a team. And each one of you is part of a team. You're part of the tennis team or the soccer team, swimming team, whatever, but you are all part of SaySay. And when you run or you play, you are SaySay. And SaySay is so proud of every single one of you. The coaches are proud of you, your parents are proud of you, the school is proud of you, and I am very, very proud of you. I'm going to miss you so much. But we still have 2 championships to cheer on, so all the best. Go Phoenix! I forgot, it's not the end. Can I ask Miss Addie to go and come up and for the final act of the night?
The night's almost done, I promise. But we have one more person to recognize, and that is Miss Jury. She's done a ton behind the scenes work that all of you have no idea. She spent so much time. This event wouldn't be here without Miss Jury. Many events, many sports events, the tournaments, all wouldn't have been without her. She's put in so many hours. She's a coach. She's gone to other events that she doesn't even coach. She's put all the awards together. Everything she does. She comes to GAA meetings, she goes to meetings that we don't even know about. She's always trying to get help making this athletics program the best that it can be. So one more big round of applause for Ms. Jury. Thank you so much. If you could clean up your trash, I think the night was a success. Go home and study and have some fun.